In this video, I'm going to reveal to you a presentation that I showed to a group of high-level business owners and entrepreneurs on how to create viral videos that sell without using expensive videographers, without using expensive equipment, only using nothing but your smartphone. Hi, my name is David Chua, and right now I'm here in beautiful Phuket. I'm here at an event, and I want to reveal to you a special presentation that I created for a unique group, and I was one of the invited speakers. We were speaking with top level entrepreneurs. The founder of Asia, Tony Fernandez, as one of the speakers. The founder of Groupon, the founder of T-Live, Brian Liu. Many top Asian entrepreneurs, and I was one of the invited speakers. Now the thing is that this presentation was, whoa, almost dropped that. This presentation is a unique presentation only open to people who paid for the ticket of the event, but I have exclusive access and I'm gonna share that with you. So it's gonna be 16 minutes long. In this video, we're gonna show you the 5 formulas you need to remember in creating videos that sell. I'm gonna show you the 3 biggest mistakes that business owners all make when it comes to creating videos, and why, if you are doing videos right now, why your videos don't work. And if you're not doing videos right now, the 6 things you need to know to make your videos work. The triggers, the buying triggers, the psychological elements to put in your video to get people to buy. So I look forward to seeing you at the end of this video.
Hello. Checking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Influence Mastery Summit, where we bring you experts from around the world sharing with you strategies on how you can persuade and influence people with confidence and charisma. This is Julian from Thriving Talents, and I have with me here David Chua, who is Asia's youngest most authority when it comes to marketing, both online and offline. He is also an international speaker and has spoken in Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, US, Caribbean, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, and so many more. He shared the stage and was even mentored by people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Robert Kiyosaki, Blair Singer, Joel Bauer, T. Harv Eker, and so many other celebrities. David is also the best-selling author of Go Digital, which is a print international bestseller and Amazon top 10 bestseller. Through his pursuit and obsession of learning only from the best of the best, as you can tell from those names, he has discovered a system that has empowered him not only to share his business successes, but also to break records and make over 6 figures in less than a month. Now, David runs Vertex Mastery, where he trains and conducts seminars, live events, actively to share his business and marketing acumen with entrepreneurs all around the world. And David, I'm so glad to have you here sharing with us on how to create influence with video.
Thank you, Julian, and Thriving Talents for bringing me on board. Just want to thank you guys for putting on this wonderful Influence Mastery Summit, because I think that what you guys are doing specifically with helping entrepreneurs, business owners, the millennials to master the most important skill, where if you want to succeed in life, you want to succeed getting your business funded, if you want to be able to get more sales, more income, you want to make an impact to the world, it is through influence. And without what you guys are doing, I think the world will be in a not so good place. So firstly, I just want to thank you guys for doing that. So right now, I just want to show you, everyone who's watching this video right now, Julian, just a bit about my background before we jump right into the show. I want to share with you guys 3 quick things on how you can use video the right way to grow your business, to get more influence, to build your influence, so that whether you're starting a business or whether you already have a business, you can use video as a leverage tool, as a vehicle to expand, to reach more people, to have a global audience, and most importantly, to be able to generate sales, income, raise money for that business idea that you have, and most importantly, to get people to listen to you, listen to your message, and I think in summary, to get people to do the things that you want them to do ethically and morally. How to persuade those who do not want to be persuaded, those who will never give you their time, their attention, their day. How do we do all of that through a 2, 3, 5, 10-minute video? And most importantly, get them to have a call to action at the end. So what I want to do is just to give you guys a quick background about myself, my name is David Chua. I have done, I've been in the marketing realm for over 8 years. I'm only 25 years old right now as you're watching this video.
Wow.
And right now I'm in my my home in KL. I just got off a flight from Gold Coast. And what I want to quickly share with you guys is the same exact skills that I applied to my own business and also to my students that I teach all around the world, and the same exact skills that you can also apply after watching this training, after watching this short half an hour to 1 hour we have together. And hopefully by the end of this, you can walk away with something tangible that you can use. And then also, Julian, just to let you know, if you want to jump in, you want to ask me any questions, you want to clarify something I said, just feel free to jump in. And then don't worry, I'm flexible. And
definitely, sure thing.
So what I want to do is just quickly, I want to just jump right in. I'm going to transition between me looking at you in the camera, and then also transitioning between me writing on this, because normally when I do my trainings, what I'll do is I would like to look at you guys. So right now, what I want to do is this. So what we need to understand the most important thing, which is we need to understand what is influence. Okay, we need to understand what is influence, because influence, if you understand it, influence, what is it all about? Influence is understanding how do we get people to do what we want. Okay? And then if you understand, if influence is all about getting people to do what we want, you also need to understand another thing, is that how do we get people to understand, to do what we want? You need to also understand, it comes down at the end of the day, influence is also persuasion. Influence is also persuasion. And now, the reason why I'm sharing with you guys this concept is because at the end of the day, every speaker that influence this summit brings up, everyone will be talking about influence. And when it comes to influence, you all need to just understand this. Is at the end of the day, it's all about persuasion. And everybody will have different vehicles, different ways to persuade people, to get people to do things. But the problem is this: you will never be able to persuade people if you do not embrace this. Because there's also a misconception, is that when you think about persuasion, some of you young people out there, you may also have a misconception that because of what society paints as persuasion, you may link it to become what we call manipulation. And you need to understand there's a very fine distinction between persuasion and a fine distinction between manipulation. Persuasion is what? Persuasion is all about one thing. The difference is getting people to do the things. So persuasion, what is persuasion? Let me explain. Persuasion is getting people to do the things that is ethically moral. You get them to do the things that will help them, that will improve their lives. Okay? That is persuasion. Okay? And then understanding the next part, which is manipulation. Manipulation is all about this. Getting people to do the things that does not serve them, getting them to buy things that will hurt them, and also getting people to do the things that doesn't serve them, hurt them, and then it will end up harming them in a more, putting them in a worse position than they originate in. So if you understand this concept, then we can move on to the part where how do you influence people? And how do you influence people? The most effective way is this, is that I had this great guru, his name is Pete Godfrey. And he said this, is that your income is determined by the comfort level that you are willing to persuade at. Influence is all about persuading. And when you know how to persuade, you know how to make money. You know how to get people to do the things that you want. You know how to lead a team. You know how to make an impact. You know how to get sales. You know how to grow a business. You know how to get customers. It is all based on your comfort level of how comfortable are you willing to pursue. Once we understand this, then we can move on to the next part where what it becomes then, okay, so now let's say you because of what I just shared, you have a breakthrough. Is that, okay, I understand, David, that in order for me to be a leader, in order for me to lead my business, lead my family, lead my relationships, in order for me to get the things that I want in life that normally people will never have, I need to be able to first be comfortable with persuading. And you learn a lot from these great speakers. But the one thing I can guarantee you that no one is sharing is that no one is telling you this, that you need to be able to be okay with persuading. Because I can teach you the best video marketing strategies, but if you're not comfortable persuading, all of the strategies, we can get the best negotiator, the best salesperson to teach you how to influence. You will never be able to do that because you're uncomfortable in the first place. So that's strategy number one first. It's first, you need to get over the fact that you need to understand. You first need to be able to persuade. That's the first thing. Once you know you are comfortable with persuading, then before I teach you the video, you also need to understand the next step. In order for you to persuade, in order for you to get people to buy, you need to understand a few things is this. At the end of the day, you need to understand human nature. And you need to be able to embrace human nature at its core. And you need to be able to understand that you cannot judge human nature. What do I mean by human nature? At the end of the day, right now, if you we're based in Malaysia, I know we have a global audience, but there's a thing called bubble tea. Okay, so if anyone who's watching, just Google bubble tea and you'll find out. So in Malaysia, there's a trend is where bubble tea is tea with milk and a bunch of tapioca pearls. Yeah, tapioca pearls inside. So what happens is this. Is that if you look at Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, China, these kind of places, a lot of us, every time we go to a brand new bubble tea shop, you will see a bunch of people lining up 4 or 5 hours just to buy a cup of tea that costs $2. Okay, why? Let's take another example. Every time a brand new Apple phone launches, why do people camp 3-5 days in advance just to be the first person to buy the phone? Why? Because you need to understand that Fortune 500 companies use this strategy, and everyone who's watching this, you also need to understand this thing called human nature. At the end of the day, humans, we are people with needs. We are people who respond to certain emotions. And when you are someone who responds to certain emotions, what you need to realize is this, is that certain emotions, certain triggers trigger us to take action. And if you want to influence, if you want to persuade, if you want to get people to do the things that normally they wouldn't do, but they'll do it just for you, is you need to understand that at the end of the day, it's all about understanding human nature. Okay? And what is human nature? For example, I won't have time to go into this, but very quickly, scarcity. People respond best to scarcity because if they know they don't line up for 4 or 5 days for that iPhone, it may be sold out. And they have the fear of missing out. So you need to understand, once you understand human nature, then you can persuade effectively. When you can persuade effectively, then you can influence effectively and you can get people to do what you want them to do. You can get people to take action that they normally wouldn't take. And then most importantly, you can get people to do the things that they are usually out of their comfort zone, but they'll do it. Okay?
Yeah.
So first, these are the two principles I wanted to share. Now I'm just going to dive in directly into the exact video strategies on what you can do. So the first thing is this. Now, you want to add anything, Julian? So
I wanted to add, just now you mentioned about scarcity. I also wanted to add one of human natures would be significance, right? To feel important. So the fact that if they are not able to get the latest iPhone, then they are not able to share with their friends. Why do people why are people so interested in brands, LV, Prada, so on and so forth? Because it gives them a sense of significance. So just wanted to add that as part of human nature as well.
Yeah. In fact, I want to just quickly dive in since we do have time. So just quickly dive in human nature because Julian brought this up. And if you ever been to one of Thriving Talents events, most likely they'll cover it, is that if you want to sell to someone, you need to understand there are 6 needs. And this is not something we invented. It's by a guy called Tony Robbins. Okay, Tony Robbins. And there are 6 needs. And what are these 6 needs? It's very simple. I also understand that right now, if you guys are looking at my screen, probably it's upside down. So maybe what I'll do...
it's correct. It's the right way.
Correct? Oh, okay. So you can see it's like...
I can see PR, yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so coming back, talking about Tony Robbins. So he says this, everyone will have 6 needs. And if you understand these 6 needs, you can persuade anyone. So there are 4 fundamental basic needs. The first need that everyone needs to understand is that if you want to influence someone, you need to be able to appeal to their first emotion, which is certainty. There are people out there, the reason why they take action, the reason why they buy, the reason why they do what they want to do, the reason why they'll buy from you is because they need to have certainty. So some people, they are driven by certainty so much that in order for them to take action, in order for them to join your business, in order for them to buy your product or service, you need to give them certainty. You need to show them that there is a plan, there's a system, there are proof that it works. So this is the first thing, certainty, okay? And then once you understand certainty, the next thing you need to understand is God is very funny. Once you give us certainty, that he also gives us, because if you know what's going to happen in life, yeah? Julian pointed out already, it's like, imagine right now, if you know every moment what's going to happen in life, life is going to be very boring. So God gave us the second emotion, which is also uncertainty, or another way of saying it is called variety. Okay, variety or uncertainty. That means there are people who are driven by the fact of knowing that they don't know what's going to happen, knowing that every time they do this, they want new experiences, knowing that people like to try new things. And if you understand that, then you can influence and persuade effectively. Let me give you an example. So certainty, what's a very simple certainty? Let's say if you want someone to join your company, join your startup, for example, you need to show them, if you want to appeal to someone who is a very certainty based, you need to show them that you have a plan, you have a system, you have an exit plan, you have your valuation, you have your financial roadmap in check. So that's certainty. Someone who's variety, what you want to appeal to, how you want to appeal to them is that you want to show them that you're always innovating, you're always changing. Things is not going to be the same. The culture is going to be very fun. It's going to be exciting, okay? And then they're going to be part of something brand big. It's going to be something that's always evolving. That's variety, right? So once you understand these 2 emotions, then the next thing you need to understand, the next 3 need, the third need is what Julian brought up, is called significance. Significance, okay? So what is significance? Significance is all about understanding this. Is that for someone, okay, someone to buy from you, some people, they're not driven by certainty, they're not driven by variety, but they're driven by feeling important. Why? Because there are some people right now is that their main primary motivator is that they want to feel different. They want to feel important. They want to know that they're above everyone else. There's no right or wrong, but you need to understand that some people are driven by significance. So what is significance? Power. Knowing that they are the boss. Knowing that they're the odd one out. Okay? Significance, there are 2 ways. When I think about significance, some of you, probably the person that comes into your mind is someone who's the alpha male, the boss, the person that drives the Ferrari. There's one kind of significance, right? who wears the expensive watch, who stands out, who's always showing off. But there's another kind of significance, which is what we call humble significance. So because everybody is standing out, trying to become rich, there are some people who find significance in dressing down. They purposely wear short slippers or short pants, a t-shirt, and go into meetings like that. So you need to understand that there are different kinds of significance, and you need to appeal to them. Okay, and then the last one, the fourth need, okay, out of the basic needs, the fourth need is the need for understanding connection. Okay, love or connection. Love or connection. People at the end of the day, they always want to feel one thing. When we were born out of our mother's womb, if you have a baby right now, and if you do not give that baby any form of love and connection, the baby will immediately die. So you need to understand, is that human nature, we all strive for one thing, love and connection. Or another way of saying it is belonging. Everybody wants to belong. Everybody wants to be part of something bigger. Everybody wants to be part of a group. No matter, even if they like to be lonely, they like to be part of the group of people who love to be lonely. So you need to understand that everybody wants to love and belong. And everything you sell, every opportunity you pitch, do you give your prospect, your customers, your whoever you're talking to, do you give them a feeling of being loved, of being connected, of belonging to something special, something bigger than ourselves? You know, there's a saying that people love, people, you need to understand this, is that the world is getting more complex each and every day. If you look at it, information is always doubling. But our humans, our brain, the maximum we can process is 8 bits of information. That's our default. So understanding this, as the world gets more and more complex, people are silently begging to be led. People are silently begging to have answers given to them. People are silently begging to be told what to do because they are too lazy of figuring out. When the world is getting more complex, when there's even more information out there, even more videos out there, even more Google pages out there, they want just someone to tell them, do this, do this, do this, in this order, in the sequence that they can follow the steps, okay? And then there are 2 more additional, what I call the needs, okay? So what are the 2 additional needs? So most people, they will fulfill these 4 basic needs. These are the 4 basic needs. And once you fulfill these 4 basic needs, then we move on to the next one, which is the 5th, is growth. Everybody wants to grow, okay? Growth. And then everybody wants to give back or contribute, okay? Give back or contribute. So once you understand this, then what's the next step? Is that whenever you sell something, wherever you give a product, you also need to make sure that everything you do, then you need to show that there's always growth, because there's a saying in nature, when the day you stop growing is the day you start dying. So you need to always constantly showcase that whatever product or service you do, you give them, there is opportunity for growth. There is room for growth. And then they will paint the picture. What does growth look like to your prospect or to your customers or the person you're trying to influence? Next thing is make sure you can show them that they can contribute, they can give back. For example, one of the biggest things every time I sell my own products or services is that once you learn how to make all this money through video marketing, what is the main thing we all live for? It is not to make more money for ourselves, but to give our parents a life that they sacrifice, the life that they always wish they had, but they never had because they sacrificed it for us. Give up all their dreams for us so that we can have a life that we want. And at the end of the day, you're here earning all that money is so that you can give back to the person who sacrificed everything for you. So this is growth and contribution. So what you want to do is every time you do any video, every time you do any training, anytime you persuade or influence anyone, whether it's one-on-one or one-to-many, you need to understand, you need to build in these 6 needs, okay, into your video, into your speech, into your presentation, into your conversation. And if you can build this, then getting people to buy, influence, do the things that you want is not that hard. Okay? So understanding this, we understand the basic fundamentals of persuasion, of influence. Now, the problem is this. The biggest problem right now, if we are to ask you, okay, right now what I want you guys to do is go out and persuade. So what do most people do? They will go to an event. And then they will communicate with people and then the biggest mistake people like to do is they do it one-on-one. And when you do it one-on-one, the problem is that you can keep on doing it, but how many people can you talk to in a day when you only have 24 hours? And then when you're based in a certain country. And one thing you need to understand is in the age where how do people make their billions, their millions, is you need to understand this concept is all about scale. Everything that you do, you always need to think about, can I scale? Or another way of saying it is, can I leverage myself? And that's the reason why I talk about video, because the first way you can do this, okay, cool. You can learn whatever we just taught you, and then you go out, you do the same presentation, you do the same conversation, you have it one-on-one. But the problem is this, let's say each presentation takes 60 minutes, you do it 24, in a day you do 24 hours, assuming you can't sleep, you don't need to sleep, you don't need to pee, you don't need to eat, you can do it maximum 24 people a day. But the problem is you're not leveraging your time. You're working hard, not working smart. So what do we need to do next? Is then you need to understand, how do we scale? How do we leverage ourselves? Next step is you do this. Then some of you say, okay, David, why don't I do this one to many? So how will you do one to many? So you would think, okay, why don't I do this? I go out and I speak, not to one, but I speak to a group. I speak to a group of people. Then the problem is that you can speak to a group. Yes, there's a leverage because there's 10 people now, 20 people now, 100 people now, 1,000 people now. But the problem is this, you're still limited to your geographical location. And in a world where people are getting busier and busier, not everyone will show up to an event. Not everyone will go to your event. Not everyone will go hear you for 2 hours on a weekday afternoon.
Yeah. And
so now,
bringing them in.
Huh?
And it's costly to bring them in.
Yeah, and it's costly to bring them in. So now what do you need to do? Then you said, okay, I need to scale, but I have no idea what to do. So then that is why the next part comes in, is then you teach. This is where I teach what I champion, which is very important, especially if you're someone who's a millennial, you're watching this right now. That's where you need to scale. And not just do one to many, but you need to use the power of video. Okay? You need to use the power of video. And I want to share with you a quick fact. Over 90%, okay? Over 90% of the information on the internet. The information on the internet right now, over 90% of the information, 90% is made up of video. 90% is made up of video. And then only the millions and millions and millions of pages, photos, websites, the billions of search results on YouTube and on Google and on Facebook, all the pictures and the words only represent 10% of the internet. So if you understand that the internet is so big already and over 90% is made out of video, then why are you not using video? I want to give you another analogy I always give in my presentations is that right now, I want you to think, how many of you ever done this before? You go to a restaurant, you go to a food court, you go to, in Malaysia, we call it kopitiam, so your local cafe, for example, you see a couple with a baby, the baby's crying, the baby's screaming, and then without even bothering, trying to comfort the baby, what happens is this. The parents, they take out their phone, they open a video, they put the video in front of the baby, and instantly you see the baby shut up. Instantly you see the baby stop crying, and then you see the baby being engrossed in this video. How many of you ever seen that kind of situation before.
Yeah.
And then if you've seen that situation before, then my question to you is this. If the baby that could barely talk is being trained to consume and be compliant with video, what's your excuse for not doing video? What's your excuse for not appearing on video? You know? And then if you want to make money, why are you not using video? Because if you're not using video, you might as well be extinct. That's how bad it is right now. Okay. So what I want to do is this. In my training, I talk about, why people don't appear on video. So I won't go into that. I want to give everyone a tangible thing. But I just want to give you 3 quick tips on why most of us, we don't appear on video. Number 1, you're trying to make the perfect video. That's the reason why you're not doing video. Because every time you record a video, you want to be perfect, you make a mistake, and then you redo the whole video, you pass 2 mistakes, you make another video again, you make the mistake, you pass the 2 mistakes you made a 3rd mistake, you redo. So maybe like a 3 minute just to say, happy birthday, for example, becomes a 1-hour puke blood process. So number 1 tip I can give you is don't be a perfectionist. Don't try to make the perfect video. Because when you make mistakes, it makes you relatable. When you try to be a robot, you are not relatable. But when you are real, what you want to be is real. And when you occasionally make mistakes, you become real and people can relate to you. That's the first tip I can give you.
Progression over perfection.
Yeah, progression over perfection. What I also say in my programs, this one is one of my co-trainers, his name is Jack, is one is always
better than none.
Always better than none. One is always better than none. So make sure version 1 is always better than none. So do version 1 first. Because when you do version 1, then there's always version 2, version 3, version 4. But version 1, no matter how bad it is always better than none. Second tip I want to give you guys is this, is now that you understand, don't try to be a perfectionist. What you want to do is this, don't get fixated on the technology. Most of you, the reason why you're not doing videos is because you're trying to get the 3-prong camera. You want 3 angles. You want 10 lights. You want to have the perfect studio. You want to have the perfect sound. It comes back to this. You're trying to look good. But if you think about it, it's not about looking good. It's about being relatable. What makes you relatable, what makes you real is understanding that all you need to do is don't focus on the technology. All you need is you have the most powerful camera that you use every day, and that thing is on your phone. It is behind here and in front here. And this camera, if you think about it, 5-10 years ago, if you compare it to a DSLR, actually some of your smartphone cameras is even better than a DSLR right now.
Yeah.
And then your phone can do things that even a DSLR can't do. It can edit instantly. You can add effects, you can put effects, you can edit, you can put mask over yourself if you don't want to show your face. So the thing is this, you don't need a good camera. You don't need a $10,000 laptop. You don't need the lens that costs half of your month's salary. What you need is just to use whatever tools you have. And what tools you already have, it is your smartphone. So start using that. Okay? And then the third thing is this. The third thing that stops most people, stops most people from doing video is because your biggest fear, it is not what you put out. It's not how you appear on video or that. No, most of us, the reason why we're afraid of doing video is because we're afraid once we put ourselves out there, what do people say about us? If I put myself out there, what if the only person that like and comment was my mother? If I put myself out there, what if my best friend that I never talk to, that I secretly hate, comments that I look fat? What do? I want to share a concept that you need to understand. There's no way to get rid of the haters. But you need to understand this concept is this, is that if you understand this concept, it will be very powerful and it will not stop you from doing video. Is understand this. Number 1, there are 2 ways of thinking. Number 1, you can be completely unknown. You can be completely unknown. You can be broke, unknown, nobody knows you, and that 1% of people who hate you will hate you. Or what you can do is you can be rich You can be famous. You can be a leader. You put yourself out there. You do what most people never dare to do. You make the money that you want to make. You have the things that most people will never have, that people dream of having. And then the same 1% of people will still hate you. Either way, whether you're broke and unknown and you don't do your videos, or whether you're rich, you're famous, you do your videos, the 1% of people who hate you will always hate you. So might as well get rich in the process, change life in the process, and help people in the process, and influence and make an impact in the process. This is a shift of mindset, because most of us, we think that, oh, but what if people hate me? No, you need to understand this. The people who hate you, no matter what you say, they will always hate you. It's just whether you put yourself out there and you give them the opportunity to hate you. But if you understand that if these people will always hate you, no whether you put yourself out there or not, then you can embrace the fact that all you have to do is you show up and you ignore the 1% who hate you, and then you do what feels right. You help the 99% who love you, who need to hear you, who need to hear what comes out from your mouth, and potentially what you say when you are vulnerable may change lives, may save lives. You never know, what you say might help someone who is in a worse position than you. So you need to understand these 3 tips. And when you understand these 3 tips, then there's nothing that can stop you from doing video. So now I just want to quickly jump in with the short amount of time we have together. I want to give you something concrete, something that you can do. So very quickly, whenever you do a video, you need to understand this. When you do a video, I'm going to give you a template that you can always use. And once you understand this template, it's very powerful. I'm going to teach it in 15 minutes. Normally, I would teach it like in 3 days over a 3-day program. But with only so much time I have with you guys, I want to give you something very implementable. I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to make it quick, but it is very absolutely implementable for you guys. Okay? If you want to find out more, you can talk to Julian and the team, and then they'll connect you guys with us. So very quickly, you need to understand this. Every time you start a video, the biggest mistake that most people do, let me give you a correction. Every time you start a video, the biggest mistake is that in a world that is fast-paced, in a world that everyone is always trying to fight for your customer or your prospect's attention, what do you need to do? The most important thing that you need to do is you need to know how to grab someone's attention. The average attention span of a goldfish is 7 seconds. 7 seconds. Guess the average attention span of a human today?
2 seconds.
2 seconds. So the actual number is 3 seconds, but most of us, we won't last even 3 because we've been trained by Facebook, Instagram, and Google. So most of us, our attention span is about 1 second. So imagine, boom, just like that, and you lost me. So what do you need to do? So when you do your videos, the biggest amateur mistake everybody makes is they go, "Hi, my name is David, and I am a property consultant." No, the first thing you want to do is always, remember this formula, you always want to do a H.
Hook.
You want to hook them in. So how do you hook? You ask them a question, for example. So you can ask them a question. Okay? You can tell them what I call as is. Tell them as it is, what they will learn in this video. What you will learn in this video is this. Or you can ask them a question. Did you know that when it comes to video marketing, you need to understand these 3 principles? Or you can say, in this video, you'll be learning the 3 biggest mistakes people make when it comes to recording their videos. Very simple, very powerful. Hook them in, okay? And then, once you hook them in, there are also many strategies, but I'm giving you the simplest ones that you guys all can use. So once you hook them in, what do you need to do next? After you hook them in, what you need to do is you need to remember this. I'm giving you a template, and all you need to remember is these 5 letters. After you hook them in, you need to build their interest. You need to build their interest. So how do you build their interest? You need to tell them something that is interesting that will retain their attention, because now you got their attention, you need to keep the attention. So how do you build the interest? Tell them, for example, a statistic. I give them a statistic. You know that 90% of all Malaysians will die broke. before they reach the age of 60, because most Malaysians, they do not have a savings plan. Did you know that Malaysia, the next 5 years will be the toughest years? So tell them, for example, a statistic or a fact or something that will make them want to stay and find out more. Okay? Because you hook them in now, you need to build the interest. And another way of saying this is you want to build the curiosity so that they will want to stay and they will want to keep on watching the video. So after you build the interest, then the next thing you need to do is you need to understand this. Once you build the interest, then the next step, you want to teach them what we call L. You need to make them learn something. So how do you make them learn? Teach them 3 things, for example. So the difference between successful, effective communicators and not effective communicators is this. There's a difference between me telling you something and you learning something. There's a difference between me telling you something and me teaching you something. So what you need to understand is you want to, instead of tell people, you want to teach them. So how do you teach? Very quickly inside the program, we teach, I have a way of teaching it. This is the simplified version. It is very quickly, very powerfully, is you understand these 3 questions. Every time you teach someone something, all you need to do is you need to remember this. You need to tell them first, what is it about? What is this? Give them the definition. For example, what is video marketing? Video marketing is all about understanding this one thing. Is that at the end of the day, you need to know video marketing is all about putting yourself in front of a video and having leverage, global leverage, and then speaking, doing the work once and speaking to many. So what, and then the next thing is this, before you teach them the how, you need to tell them the why. Why is video marketing important? Because most of you're sick and tired of doing cold calls. You're sick and tired of doing one-on-one appointments. You're sick and tired of repeating the same thing over and over again and never being able to scale. You're sick and tired of doing things that doesn't produce leverage, that doesn't help you leverage your time. So why is this important? Why video marketing is very important is because video marketing allows you to leverage your time, allows you to do the work once and then automate the whole process. Do one sales video and then that sales video sells for you for the rest of your life. And then after that, then what I need to teach you is then you teach them the how. You teach them the moves, you teach them the steps, which is what I'm doing right here. Notice the whole time I've been doing this webinar, I've been following this. I've been telling you what is it, why is video marketing important, how you can use a video marketing influence. Then I teach you the how. So now I'm teaching you the how. H-I-L, this is the how, okay? So once you understand this, then you can build, and I'm teaching you instead of telling you, and it can be the same information that you can find on the first page of Google, but because of the way I teach, you are hooked, you find it more value, and then you want to learn even more, and then you're staying because of this. Now, after you learn, what's the next step? After you learn, then you need to do this. Then you need to build the desire, okay? With the desire. So let's draw that again. Let's make it bold, D. Okay, the desire. What's the desire? How do you build the desire? How do you build the desire so that they want what you have? They want what you offer. So building the desire is very simple. There are many strategies, but right now, because of the short amount of time we have, I want to quickly give you a few strategies on how to build the desire. So for example, desire is this. Instead of going through the biggest mistake, when people persuade, people influence, and I know this is very cliche, I know you probably have heard this before, but a lot of people tell you about this. Don't talk about the features, talk about the benefits, right?
Yeah.
So don't talk about the features, talk about the benefits. So what? So let me bring it even deeper. What benefits, another way of saying this is this. Remember I taught you about the 6 needs? What are the 6 emotional needs or emotional benefits? Whatever service, product, gift that you're providing, the person who's watching your video, what does those needs, how does your product or service meet those emotional needs. And this is the benefit. Benefit is not taking a feature and then turning it into a benefit. No, 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 no. What you need to do is you think deeper, and you need to realize is how can I take those 6 needs that me and Julian talked about just now, and how can we convert those 6 needs into something that is emotional, into something that appeals to them. Let me give you an example. So for example, let's talk about video marketing, right? So what is 6 needs? Is this. So now I told you, so why is video marketing important? I showed you how to use this. And then the thing is this. So the biggest problem right now is, so what I want to do is I want to I'm going to scroll up here, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to use this 6 needs, okay? So let's just go up here. Let's talk about needs. So the biggest problem is this, is that most of you're sick and tired of doing one-on-one calls. You're doing one-on-one appointments. You're meeting people and you're getting rejected in the face. And it's not a nice feeling. And then what you want to do is you want a system that can give you a predictable result so that you do the work once and then you just sit back, you relax, and then the leads, the sales, the income all comes to you. So that's certainty. And then what if I could show you a system, a method where you can use video marketing to not only do that, but at the same time, it doesn't just hold you. You don't need to do it inside a studio. You can do it all traveling all around the world. You can do it while riding a roller coaster. You can do it while jumping from a plane. You can do it whenever you want, however you want, with whoever you want. What if that system is duplicatable and replicatable no matter where you are, no matter what background you're from? And what if this system not only does that, it sets you apart from the crowd. It allows you to differentiate yourself from all your competitors, differentiate you and your business, set the bar so high that no one can come close, and it allows you to dominate the industry so that you are the only logical choice in your industry. And not just that, what if this system allows you to be a leader so that people want to follow you, to be a leader that builds a community of people that comes together, that builds a community of people that grows together, build a community of people that want to give back to society, to make the world a better place, to give back and help the world, to influence and impact the world in a way where everyone has the money freedom to do what they want, whenever they want, the time freedom to do what and travel all around the world, to enjoy life as life is meant to be enjoyed, and most importantly, to make a difference into the world. So what if I could show you this system? How many of you would like to find out what this system is? So what I did is a quick example of how to build the 6 needs. So notice, I built certainty here. So let's just go back down. So I built certainty by saying there's a system, it's predictable, it can be used. I built variety, it's not something that bogs you down, you travel all around the world. I built significance by saying you become the only logical choice. You set yourself apart from the crowd. I built love and connection by showing you that, you know, when you do this, you become a leader. People want to follow you. People love you. People want to follow you wherever you go. You belong to a community. And then this community that keeps on growing, the community that keeps on wanting to give back. So notice I use the 6 needs inside video marketing, and then you can also do the same too. So this is desire. So in summary, how do you build the desire? Make sure you use the 6 needs, 6 emotional needs, and then make sure you put it into your presentation, your video, whatever it is. And then lastly is this, the biggest mistake that especially young people, when we do our videos, is this, is you need to understand this. When there is no call to action, no action will be taken. And the biggest mistake when we do a call to action is most people, when they end their video, they go, hey everyone, if you like whatever I shared, like, share, subscribe, comment, and tag your friends. The problem is this, it's not clear. When it's not clear, there's confusion. When there's confusion, no action will be taken. So the last part is you need to have what we call a very clear, you need to make sure that you get people to have, you need to tell them to take an action, but not just any action, but you need to make sure the action is a clear call to action. clear call to action. So let me give you an example. What you want, let's say if I want people to like, then I'll just say like this video. If I want people to comment, I'll just say comment a single word, comment hero. If you like whatever, say comment love below so that I know that you love what I'm sharing. If you want to get people to share, just say, okay, share your video. If you want people to tag, just say, okay, if you like whatever I'm sharing, if you want my system, tag 3 people and I'll send you the system for free. Okay? You want to have a clear call to action. Don't make the mistake of asking people to do multiple things. Another mistake, a mature mistake that most people do is that when they talk about action, they'll say, okay, so what I want you to do is share your thoughts with me below. The problem is this, most people are lazy. Most people are very lazy. If you ask them to share their thoughts, they are not going to share their thoughts because they're too lazy. So what do you need to do? What you need to do instead is what you want to do is you want to get your customers, get your viewers. If you want to turn your viewers into clients into people who buy from you over and over again, you just want them to have a clear call to action. So an example would be, let's say I just built the desire. What I will do next is I'll say, okay, so those of you right now, if you're interested in this system, it's called the Video Hero System. And I have a 1-hour training on this Video Hero System. So if you would like to find out more, comment video below and I'll send you this system for free. Okay, comment video below and I'll send you this system for free. I'll see you in the next video. Done. That's it. And then this is my 5-letter template that anyone can use to master the art of doing video. Of course, in the program, like I run events, we talk about many kinds of templates. This is the easiest. And then just in case if you didn't notice, the reason why this is called, this is a system, because all you need to remember is this: H, I, L, D, A. So always remember a frizzy purple girl. Okay, this is a terrible joke. Okay, let me try. Always remember a frizzly hair purple girl who is an Irish person, and her name is Hilda. Remember Hilda? Hook, interest, learn, desire, and action. And then you always remember that if all you do is every time you create a video, you remember Hilda, then you will be able to create video on demand, on command, whenever you want, wherever you want. And you don't need a script. You don't need a fancy studio. All you need is a pocket camera, a well-lit room. Okay? Doesn't have to be a studio room, a well-lit room, decent lighting. Maybe have a microphone. Some of you don't even need a microphone. And just remember, hook them in, build their interests, teach them something so that they learn, build the desire for whatever you're giving away or whatever you're selling, and have a clear call to action. I hope that with whatever I share with you guys, you are able to use these strategies to grow your influence, to be able to multiply your impact. All of you who are watching at home or wherever the hell you are right now. My name is David, and this is the end. You know, I was given 1 hour. So, any questions, Julian, or you need me to clarify or anything?
For me, your presentation was superb. I mean, like, it was mind-blowing. Even for me, who create videos myself, I think this is a very suitable template I can use even to, create my own videos. So thank you so much, David. I really appreciate the value that you've shared with the audience here. And especially for you who are watching, this is David Chua sharing his video secrets, because and especially for those of you who purchased the All Access Pass, David is the bonus speaker here. So I hope that you've learned something from him. So one more thing, David, before we conclude this thing, there's one question that I like to ask my speakers as well, which is, if you had the chance, knowing what you know already, to start again from scratch, what will you do in order to rebuild yourself?
Okay, so the question is, if I were to
start again from scratch.
Starting from scratch, what
information?
Okay, starting from scratch, and then.
But you know what information you know now, like the knowledge that you have, you still retain it. What will you do differently? Like, or what will you do from the beginning again? Build yourself up.
This is putting me on the spot. What I would do differently is I think in terms of video, like in terms of video marketing, it's not video marketing per se, but in life in general, in business in general, is this. I would always, instead of trying to figure a lot of things out on my own, what I would do is I would find mentors. That's the first one, so that I don't need to waste a lot of time. But what I would do is I would go out and have, I know this sounds very weird, like, I talk about video marketing and all of that. But what I would do is I would go out and have hard conversations, uncomfortable conversation. Because one of my mentors, his name is James Fu, and he shared this with me, and then one of my business partners, his name is Romy, he also shared this with me, is that the amount of money you make, the amount of income you make is determined by the amount of uncomfortable conversation and hard conversations you have. And if I had to starting all the way, like other than using video marketing, all of that, I will go out and I will find people to have those uncomfortable, hard conversations. It's those conversations where people share, real feedback, not kissing your butt, that kind of thing, like real feedback, real criticism. And it's hard to swallow, especially anyone who's watching you, a millennial. It's we're very egotistical, let's be honest. Like we think we know everything. But there is wisdom in experience. There's wisdom in people who have been there, done that. And there's also reasons. And then every time when someone shares these kind of things with us, we like to get it to our head. It's like, oh no, you're old school, all of that. But I noticed that my income grew every time I had that hard, uncomfortable conversation. I grow as a person. I grow as a business leader. I grow as an influencer. I grow as a speaker, a trainer, and I grow as a man in my family. And it's that being able to not only be okay with it, but specifically go seek out uncomfortable, hard conversations. So that's my one thing I would do differently.
Thank you. I know I put you on the spot, but just wanted to hear from you how you do it. And I know I believe that it's very important, like what you mentioned, which is to seek out feedback, because the feedback is the one that helps us to improve ourselves, allows us to grow and refine ourselves to be better versions.
Yeah, and just to add on, it's not feedback you want to hear. A lot of us, we like to find feedback we want to hear. It is feedback that it's coming, that you don't want to hear, but you need to hear it.
Yeah. Coming from people who really love you and care for you, right?
Yeah.
Not people who want to criticize you just for the heck of it.
Yeah. And also understanding, maybe to add on, maybe understanding, if you hear feedback from other people, is you need to filter yourself. It's like not every feedback is good or bad. You need to filter. Does this person give me the feedback? Does this person have experience in the feedback he's giving me? But if he's telling me how to hire a person, does this person have a 10-man team, 30-man team, 50-man team? A lot of people like to give a lot of opinions, but not feedback. You need to filter that yourself. So that's my advice for anyone who's watching out there. Hey, just want to congratulate you for watching this video, this online summit. This video that you just saw, this presentation wasn't open to everyone at the online summit. It was only open to VIP clients, and you are one of the lucky ones who had access to it. And not just access to it, you completed it. So congrats on that. So the thing is this, now that you watch all of that, some of you may be asking, so David, how do I take it to the next level? How do I learn how to create viral videos that sell? How do I learn to connect and convey with video to make my customers hang on my every word? How do I take viewers and turn them into lifetime clients? Or what's the next step? Where do I go from here? So what I want to do is this. Because you came to the end of this video, I know that you are someone who's special, and what we want to do is this. I want to get on a conversation with you, and I want to talk to you to see whether you're a good fit, whether we can help you. If you like to do that, all I ask you to do is just follow the link below, click on the link, and then me or a member of my team will get in contact with you, and let's just see how we can work together so we can help you accelerate and further your video hero journey.